Welcome back to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. We watched the wintry Wonderland slasher Iced this week, and yes, you're not mistaken. We didn't do a broadcast or recording for the last few weeks because there's been construction in my house. It's still happening, which has been affecting my sleep patterns negatively, and to the point where I'm usually way too fucking tired by like 6 p.m. every day because I had not been getting enough sleep at all during the week. But I got a little extra sleep today, so we decided to do this show, though I'm fading fast. So, Owen Neal, why don't you reveal your thoughts on this fucking movie?
It wasn't good. The end.
Dun 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 dun, dun. Thank you. All right,
Iced.
all right. So what happens in this movie? Let's do this.
All right. So you got some friends are off drinking and skiing and all that fun stuff. But one guy's not happy because the girl he brought with him doesn't like him. And she's off with one of his friends. He doesn't like that. So he threatens to stab him, I guess, with a ski pole. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But instead, he grabs another friend's skis and decides to go, apparently, commit suicide by skiing off a little bump onto some rocks. I guess that's the story they were
Well, he
telling
has
me,
a
at least.
fatal accident. He's drunk skiing, which is bad. Which is a bad idea, of course. But like he's emotional, makes a bad decision, and then has a really bad accident, lands on some rocks, and dies.
Yeah. But they act like he was suicidal, like he did it on purpose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The movie's
But
very
anyway,
muddled. It doesn't know what the fuck it wants.
he cut to, I think, 5 years later, 3 or 5 years later.
5 years later.
Well, I know the later one's 5 years later.
I think it's actually
Yeah.
4 years later, but
Okay. In between then, they're all meeting up they all get invited to a resort to, I guess buy into a timeshare, but they're just like, how fool them. We're going to get a free weekend of skiing out of this. And
something
there's
you
way
can do,
more
yeah.
people than we saw in the beginning, but that girl and that guy are there, and they're now married. And one of the guys doesn't make it because he gets ran over by a bucket loader.
Yep, and all that's left of him is his poor coat and a splattering of blood. The movie is very light on gore. It cuts away into most kills. It's frustrating like that. Also, as you'll learn, it takes an hour to get going. Anyway,
Yeah, after that first kill, then it's just a bunch of bullshit in the cabin. Like, oh, the one friend is now a cokehead who waves guns around, and
it's like terrible dialogue, cliched characters, no depth to anyone. Everyone's
bunch
trying
of
to just get fucking like wasted and have sex. Basically, it's really,
yeah,
really fucking yeah. It's
and
boring.
it drags, and it drags,
It
and then some
literally,
more killing.
it literally nothing happens for an hour, and then finally something happens, and then there's another 20 minutes, and then something happens, and another 10 minutes, and something happens, and suddenly everything goes nuts at the end. But Jesus Christ, you shouldn't have to
Well,
fucking take a mile walk to get there. You know what I mean?
once the second killing happened, all the rest of the killings came pretty rapidly at the end.
Yeah, at the end, 20 minutes from
Yeah,
the end is when all this started happening.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
He stabs one guy with a ski pole, jumps off a roof, and stabs a girl in the face with an icicle.
yeah, he Assassin's Creed some lady as you were saying during the movie. He just like leaps off
Oh.
and like stabs her in the face. But
It
like,
wasn't
yeah,
full Assassin Creed. He didn't land on her. He like
it's
landed on his
true.
feet, and then he's like, boink.
And of course, right as it's about to like hit her, it cuts away to like somebody doing like break up ice pick in a cup or a thing to make like milkshakes or whatever. But like, good lord,
Yeah.
or margaritas or whatever he was making.
And then he proceeds to force himself on a girl, all hopped up on coke. And then it just cuts to her getting into a jacuzzi. So
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. And
yeah,
she gets lamely electrocuted. And then he lures the druggie out. He steps into bear traps, and
two
apparently
bear
he
traps.
falls over dead.
He steps in one bear trap and immediately steps into another bear trap, falls over, and he's not dead right away. Because when we see him later, he's slashed open, or quote unquote slashed open. He's got
He's
basically
got
some red
blood all
blood
over
on
his
him.
stomach, but
Yeah.
then he's dead. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no one knows what happened. It never happens on
Fucking-
screen, like almost all the killings in this movie.
And then the other guy decides he's gonna go eat some pie at night, and he gets stabbed, assumingly dead, but not.
Dun, dun,
He just
dun.
lays on the floor with a knife in him. And then the main girl that the guy was in love with. By the way, the killer is wearing the outfit from the guy that died in the beginning.
But it's
The
not the
same
guy from the
suit
beginning, even
stuff.
though it makes you think it is.
Yeah, it's not him.
It doesn't make you think very hard because you're just like, oh. Oh, but
And then
I'd like to point out is we don't know who the fuck this guy is, so he reveals himself and then takes 10 minutes to explain all of the actions that happened in the movie and why they happened, and I'm just like, what the shit filmmaking is this?
First, I want to talk about my favorite scene. The girl sees the guy on the floor, supposedly dead, talks to him. We don't hear anything. And then she just leaves him there, runs to the door. She's only wearing like a night shirt and panties. She puts on boots and a coat and goes outside. She took the time to put on boots and a coat,
But didn't put
but no
pants on.
pants.
Yeah.
And then she goes out and she goes, "Oh fuck, the keys." And then she's stumbling around in the snow as if she dropped the keys, but she never had the keys.
Yeah, the
She
movie's a
goes to
fucking
the
mess.
car because the guy had the keys. Remember, he started the Jeep when he got stabbed. And then for some reason, the killer put the girl with the icicle in the head in the other seat. And then she basically runs around and sees different dead bodies. And then goes in, calmly gets the phone up and calls somebody. That she
It's
needs
not the
help. Is
police like
guy-
it should be.
Is the guy that called the one that was killing people?
No.
You sure?
No.
Positive? I think it might have been.
I'm not sure, I said.
Because isn't he the one that invited them all to the thing?
Maybe?
It might have been him. Because he doesn't, it's not like he shows up and gets killed. The killer shows up.
This movie bored me into submission. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I'm going to say it was him. I'm going to say that's the killer.
It's boring for over an hour, guys. It's not worth the ending. There's not any gore of note, and there's a whole hell of a lot of nudity in this movie, though. Everyone's getting naked. There's dudes and lady butts and chests from everyone, and crotches
Plus, we
from
were
some.
watching like a really bad, like, it's only on VHS, so it's like a VHS ripped to YouTube.
Yeah,
It's kind of grainy, but
there's no legal
pretty-
release of it outside that VHS.
he might have been the killer. Anyways, she sits on the stairs and waits. Because he's like, I'll call the cops. That's why I'm starting to think it was him. Because she doesn't call the cops. But then there's like a montage of all the dead bodies. Like, remember this? Remember this? You just saw it a second ago, but here they are. They're
Remember
still
all those
dead.
things you didn't see the end of, but now you can see what happened to those people, even though you're pretty sure they died because the ice was about to go into her face when it cut away. So
And then even more confusing, she's sitting on the stairs, watching the front door. He comes in the front door and runs over and just grabs her. Not
Yeah.
even running, he walks over and grabs her.
Just
She never
walks
fires
in.
a gun.
never
And
fires
then
the
she goes
gun. It's
upstairs.
an
She stabs him in the
embarrassment.
leg. Surprise, he has a fake leg, and then we're like, what the fuck does this even mean? It's not the guy that died, even though it looks like the guy that died because they all look the same. And then he tells the story about how he sat down on the bar with that guy and talked about how she ruined his life, and then he got skiing and died.
So what happened is we at the beginning we see the guy who died, the very first guy who died in a ski accident, talking to somebody off screen. We don't know if he's crazy or if he's actually talking to somebody. Turns out the actual killer is that guy, and he's here to take revenge on them not because they killed his friend of a long time. No. That sucks, right? But that's because that was caused by him. But because they made him go out and look for his friend, and in the course of it, he broke his leg so bad they had to amputate it. So when she just stabbed his fake fucking leg right now, we're like, why isn't he like? We didn't know it was fake at first. We're like, why is he no-selling that shit?
And nobody sent him to look. They were
Nobody.
just partying and
He
drinking.
just went off to look on his own, and he blames everyone else. It's
And
worse
the hill
than
he fell
Jason's
down.
mother. Jason's mother let him die because she was a bad parent and wasn't paying attention, and she blames other people. That's the same shit here.
Yeah, this guy falls down a less than a 10-foot hill and completely snaps his leg so badly that they chop it off.
It's just this movie's an embarrassment to everyone involved.
He waits fucking 5 years to get his revenge.
Look, if your movie was less interesting than 555, you have a problem.
Yeah. Anyways, they shoot him. He falls out a window. He gets stuck on his wooden leg, his plastic leg, falls down, and he goes, ugh. And then you cut to 5 years later. That girl and that guy, the stab guy, survived. He's the one that shot him out
and they
the
totally
window.
have 2 fucking kids that are somehow older than 5 years.
Yeah, they're way older than 5 years. Maybe they already had the kids.
Maybe.
They got away for the weekend. And they're building a snowman, and then she puts an eyeball in it, and blood runs out, and then he jumps out of the snowman. And we all laugh.
The snowman explodes and he jumps out, which is, of course, the best part of the movie, but it's not worth the 1 hour and 58 minutes, or 1 hour and 26 minutes it took to get there. I swear that movie needed to be 20 minutes shorter. If that was an hour and 6 minutes, I would have been okay. But fuck's sakes, that movie was boring and not worth the time. Like, I'm down with, like, slasher films that do nothing but, like, hey, look, here's your the throwaway characters, you know, and then they die, right? Because most of them, they start killing right away. They don't spend an hour trying to make you like characters you have no interest in liking because they're not well written or acted. You know? Like, Christ on a crutch.
Tell them the alternate title.
Oh, Blizzard of Blood. No blizzard, very little blood in this movie. Blizzard of Blood, Jesus Christ! I'd buy that. I'd buy that.
Someone did get iced, so
That's true. At least there was truth in advertising. Sorry for yawning so much. I'm very tired, guys.
There wasn't enough skiing.
Barely any skiing, and they kept using some, I would guess, a high school or something, or a grade school, and they were using it for various locations that it weren't schools, and you could tell.
I think my favorite was in the beginning where they do the close-ups when they're skiing, and it's clear there's a background, and they're just like,
Yeah, I know, right? It's so bad. So bad, guys. It's really bad. Oh, what are we doing next week? All right.
So go watch it on YouTube.
We are watching the Severin title, the Division title, Beyond the Seventh Door. It's the movie Cube. Have you seen Cube before?
Nope.
Okay. Well, they have to make through these seven rooms, booby-trapped rooms, to get to $1 million paycheck. It's really low budget. It's from Canada, and it stars this guy named Lazar Rockwood, who is like Tommy Wiseau before Tommy Wiseau was Tommy Wiseau. He might actually be the same person. I don't know, but we'll have to see it. It's good shit, and the trailer is fun stuff. I sent you the trailer at some point. Pretty sure. Anyway, that's what we're watching for the next episode. I'm very tired. Any last words, Owen? Oh, where'd you get this movie? You're gonna rate it. Fuck.
I don't know. In 1.5.
Look. You can be bad, you can be good, you can be weird, but you can't be fucking boring. It's the only goddamn sin in cinema. You can't bore the audience. And this movie bored the audience. Half a star, final verdict. Only getting half a star because there was an exploding snowman at the end. Literally the only redeeming value of this movie. I want a gif of him jumping out of the snowman. That's all I care about. The rest of this movie can go fucking die in a fire.
Go watch it on YouTube.
Look, if they announced that there's a uncut version of this with all the gore uncut, I'd watch it again. But that's the only way I'm gonna watch it. They found the gore. Or I doubt they even filmed it, but anyway, that'll do it for this week. See you next week. We'll see you at the next part, or after the break, or before the break, or whatever. I don't know when the hell you're putting this. You cut this out. I'm gonna start over. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Peace out.